Imagine if a white woman just starts screaming help and you did nothing wrong and you're a black man. That's terrifying. So have you seen the viral video of the white woman who profiled the black man at his own house in the middle of the night and tried to claim that she was like scared of him and, you know, afraid of him doing something to her, and he was at his house.
His house.
So they caught the entire thing on video, and now she's copping pleas online and it has exploded and going super viral. But this is what originally happened.
We need you. What's going on?
So from what I understand, I guess she was walking and then saw him come up, like I guess drive by, get out of his car. I don't know. I guess he's getting out of his car, walking up to his home. She's in front of his house. So she's ringing his doorbell. So she's trying to act like she's going into their house because apparently she's scared right now. You get what I'm saying? So that's why she's like, if it was her house, she just would have went in the house. So she's in front of somebody else's house. Like she's being the one that's sketchy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure at this point he's confused, but that's what's going on.
Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do?
Papa.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So what are you doing?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
Imagine if a white woman just starts screaming help and you did nothing wrong and you're a black man. That's terrifying. That's terrifying.
Very terrifying.
So let's stop right here before we get too far, because the wife is about to come out. That's who opened the door. So imagine, and look, I'm gonna do both sides. So let's do her side.
Okay.
Her side is maybe you're in your neighborhood, you're walking by, house you never walked by before, middle of the night, you got your baby. But also, first of all, if you're that goddamn scary, stay your ass inside the house in the middle of the night.
Thank you.
Why are you outside with two small children at night? But anyway, she's walking. He pulls into, I guess, his driveway or in front of his house. So I don't know why, just because you saw, this is what I'm confused about. And it's hard to take her side because in the middle of the night, what about his car and him scared you? What's scary? Did he almost hit you with the car? Did he
Right.
drive too close? Did he double back 3 or 4 times?
Right.
You know, did he roll the window down and say something? You telling me that this man pulls up, gets out of his car, and the first thing that hits your mind is, oh my God, he's trying to take me or my children. We are in danger. I need to run to this strange house and act like it's mine. And then when maybe, I get it, you're scared. You see him cautiously walking up, confused, as he should be, because it's his goddamn house. You ask him, because apparently your brain's working.
Yeah.
Do you live here? He says, yeah. I don't believe you. Also, why don't you believe me? That's why we have problems with racists. Why don't you believe me right now?
Yes, wow.
And then you take, I don't follow you. No one's following you. And you start screaming. So wait, it gets better.
Okay.
It gets better.
Did someone come here?
That was my wife. Somebody chased her up here. And she had kids.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in a silver truck.
So her husband gets there. So the black man, that's his wife walking out the house.
Okay.
So she's saying, I guess she's like, hey, somebody just screamed and ran. He was like, oh, that's my wife. She said somebody was chasing her. And she was like, well, we live here.
And he came around the corner, and I was in the street, and so I come up, and I just have my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope," and then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband.
That's the reason why he did that. It's because you are going into his house.
You are trespassing.
He's watching you break into his shit. What the fuck is he supposed to do? And to his point, and look, he goes on and he writes a message on Instagram we're going to read. Where he talks about how, you know, he came a long way. He's proud of how he handled himself. I'm so proud of how everybody handled themselves. Well, not everybody, but, you know, the black family, because he didn't get out the truck. He just waited patiently. And, you know, at first, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could have, every reason to lose his shit, be belligerent, be mad mad, whatever, escalate the situation.
Yeah.
He didn't. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him for being so cool, so calm, so collected. Even now, when by now they're kind of catching, I'm sure they figured out what the fuck's going on. You know, him and his wife. Like, oh, she just saw a big black man. And so they could even right now be livid, you know?
Yeah. That's why he lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming. And I'm like, that's...
Imagine the guy walks out the house, the guy that you was scared of. And also he don't look scary.
She got all worried that
Look, the husband couldn't even finish it.
He started laughing.
He's about to say, she got to worry some big black guy.
How?
How did he scare you though?
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, are you looking for somebody? Because I was pulling up out
And I
home.
saw someone walking in our driveway too. And I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
The small dog comes out.
What? She said that someone was following her. So you were walking from there?
You came this way, didn't you?
No, I came down this street right here.
Yeah.
And I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view.
No,
I do not. don't.
It's wrong.
By myself with 2 kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, oh, it scared me, and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, this could be his house. But you didn't say, this is my home. You just said,
Yes, you did.
and I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, did I live here? I said, yeah.
And you said, no, you don't.
And you said, I don't think you do.
It was obviously you could tell that I was really small.
Like I'm pulling in my, it's like I'm pulling in my house. Like this is not, this neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio. You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry.
You're not the right color for this neighborhood.
No, you're not.
She-
You don't belong here. I don't believe you.
That's exactly what happened. And that's why it's important that, you know, we go into those neighborhoods. And look, we're not going to bash the woman. Is it low-key a little racist? Yes. But also, is it because at the end of the day, she's probably never seen no black people there? Now, what we need to talk about is the socioeconomic reasons behind why there are no other black people there. We need to talk about, you know what I'm saying, equity and what that means. And we could talk about the historical significance of, you know, redlining and, you know, all the ways black people were held back. We're not going to have that conversation. But we are going to talk about the fact that, you know, yeah, it was a little wrong. She was completely in the wrong and she exposed herself. And I think it's a great learning moment. You know what I'm saying? To your point, what I don't like is how even then she's not really taking accountability. She's saying like she had a right to be afraid. No. I had a right to be afraid because you're a big black guy. You didn't give me your slave papers fast enough. It's not my fault that I immediately saw you and thought I was in danger simply because you're a black man in my neighborhood. It's your fault for not immediately identifying because you know better in this neighborhood that you should, that I need to know exactly why you're here, if you live here. And not only that, when you tell me you live here, you need proof.
Because I don't believe you.
And I don't have any authority here, but guess what? This whiteness is more than enough.
I already know he is.
So I know he was probably sitting there like, what is wrong with you? Why are you outside? So I guess she has an online business that was getting a little in trouble after this went viral. So this is her apology, her talking about her apology. And also the black family, shout out to them, did not accept her apology.
Is public, and for those of you guys who are telling me that I owe a public apology, one, I will not apologize for making any sort of racist remark. I am the furthest thing from a racist. I will, however, apologize that my expression could ever come across in such a way, or that somebody could think something of that nature of myself and my family. So long story short, I need to give the context because there's a lot of y'all who are, I'm sure, coming to my page right now not knowing. JV's coming down, hold on.
Her husband probably go, get the fuck off.
So this is my house, and I said, I don't think that it is. And at that point, the only reason that I said that was because truly the awkward encounter of slowing up behind me, talking to us multiple times. I'm in this frantic state. It's late at night. I got my kids, my 2 babies. The lady at the door is not answering. There's no other homes that are well established. I mean, there's construction. It's a corner house. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm on the front porch. This truck literally is halfway up the driveway. And I was like, my radar was like, nope, I don't think that this is your house. And so I said, I don't believe that this is your house. And so I'm starting to unbuckle Cash, and I grab, and I freak. I go, Rory, run. And so I take off the porch, and I literally run as fast as I can, screaming at the top of my lung. I'm getting all these messages, I'm sorry. Screaming at the top of my lung. I've never, ever, ever screamed the way that I screamed. And I'm running through the front yard of everybody, praying that the Ring doorbell would capture us. Finally, to get to a woman's house, I'm banging on the door. And at this point, I'm dialing 911, and I said, can I please come in? And the woman said, yes, come in. And so I'm staying there, I'm talking to the sheriff, and more than anything, I was not looking for him to come to my rescue at this point. My husband was gonna come, I'm in this woman's house, the door is closed, and I tell the man, he said, do I need to come out? And I just said, no, I said, I was just calling to let you know that this just happened, my husband's gonna come get me, and he says, he asked me if I wanted him to come out, and I said no. And so the woman then, I was at her house, she literally asked me and said, she said, I don't know how to ask this. She goes, but was it a black man? Because she goes, it's a black family that lives there. And I said, no, I believe that this is a white man. He was a white man in a truck, a young white man is what I said. And she said, okay. She goes, because that's a black family that lives there. And I said, no, I don't think that it was a black man. And then when my husband got there, I stood out front, and we're still trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me talking to my husband. But he asked me again, he said, what house was it? And I said, it was this house right here. And he goes, are you sure it wasn't a black guy? He goes, because that's a black family. And I said, no, I don't believe that it was a black man. And so we get in the car, and we go to pick up the stroller. And I've said this a million times, I have never felt the fear that I had even just pulling up in front of the house when John opened the door to get out of the truck. Like the amount of
I get it.
I don't think she's telling the whole truth to nothing but
You don't
the
think?
truth.
Well, honestly, okay, let's
she
be
sees dreads.
That's
She
what I'm
sees
saying.
that.
You see big dreads. You don't think that's to your point. His dreads are so crazy. That's the only reason why I think he's a black man.
Exactly.
Because he's so light skinned, and like his hair is too black. Like the way he got it, and it's too big. And in the middle of the night, there's no way you could even think he's a white man.
No.
And then also, if you did see him and you were scared, I would be like saying no, he was a white man with dreads. Because it's like, how could you not see his dreads?
How could you not?
You can't even see him.
That's why I'm saying she's not telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I mean, okay, maybe she didn't see the dreads. You're scared middle of the night in the truck. Maybe he's not out of the truck when he's first talking. So maybe when she's talking to him, he's talking to her from the truck. So she might not see his hair. Because she didn't say he got out. I just assumed he was out at that point.
Like wrote his window
yeah,
down.
I think he probably wrote it. So maybe she can't see him. And so, look, this is the thing. Is it a case of, I guess this is the question. Is it a case of white privilege?
Or is it a case of just some mental health?
Either way, she's wrong because she overreacted. I think she understands that, right? Well, she hasn't apologized for it, but you definitely overreacted. And I think that this is the problem at the end of the day, that why she's getting the hate and why and what she needs to understand to navigate this the right way. The problem is that it could have been innocent. Let's say it was, but because of the history of America and because of how dangerous it is to be a black man in America, that could have cost him his life.
Yeah.
So for you may not even know he was black. The problem is that because of the culture we live in, our society, whatever the history, he could have died that day. The wrong way. If you would have told that sheriff, I still don't feel safe, a white woman in a nice part of town, he could have died that night. In wrong time, wrong place, wrong city, it has happened. You know what I'm saying? Black men have been killed for doing less to a white woman. So I think that even if you're right, you're wrong, and it's not your fault. If it's truly innocent, it's not your fault, but you got to understand people are coming from. And because all of this is your fault, you got to take whatever accountability comes with that. So you overreacted. You had no reason. If you that scared, stay your ass in the house.
Yeah.
You know, like period. If a truck running past you, driving past you, you don't know everybody in the neighborhood.
Exactly.
So let's say it was a white man. You still should have been. That makes everything you just told me, lets us all know that you probably have some mental issues that we need to
That's what I
address.
said.
And also she's going to talk about why she was so scared. So this is why she said she was so scared.
Followed 20 minutes home, and my car was broken into when I was at the store. And when I was a little girl, we had a man banging on our door and helicopters hovering over our home. So, did I?
This is not legit. So everybody on the internet was going off because that is cap as hell. And what I'm saying is did you hear what she just said? We had homeless people banging on our door, and one time a guy broke into my car and stole my that is why you thought he was about to murder you and take her children. What do you think was gonna listen to her explanation?
I don't have time.
This is what scarred her so mentally.
Oh.
This is her PTSD. This is why she's so terrified.
Followed 20 minutes home, and my car was broken into when I was at the store. And when I was a little girl, we had a man banging on our door and helicopters hovering over our home. So,
What happened?
Okay.
did I overreact? Yeah, maybe a little bit.
See, I was trying to help your ass out. But the problem is, why you just can't say you sorry? No, you overreacted. Nothing bad happened.
hate
The man
that.
did nothing wrong. No one scared you. You were tripping. And you know what? You know what your husband thought when he got there? This bitch tripping. That's what your husband thought. That's what everybody thinking. You just need to say you're sorry.
Exactly. With no buts. Stop that.
But I showed up at the door and I said that I was sorry 2 times. People are going as far as saying they're not genuine apologies, that I'm out to get them for whatever reason that is. I don't know how it could be twisted that way. One of the videos of us talking about opening our store, there were over 360 comments, some of which absolutely were from our members, but I would say over 300 of them within a 10-minute span were from people coming to absolutely attack us, saying anything and everything you can imagine, from hating on my faith, tying that to racism and me not being who I say I am, to my family, to be on a lookout, to...
I'm gonna be honest, from what I can see, this is a lie. I don't think she deserves this. I think, yes, the consequences of her mistake could have been high. I think, I am inclined to believe her. I would hope this woman isn't as morally destitute as to come on here and lie. You think she would come on here and just lie? To save your business and to save your life? 2025, I'ma lie. She gonna lie.
There is some prejudice, underlying biasness. It's in there. There's no way that you cannot look at this situation and say, dang, I am wrong. Literally misjudge this situation.
Well, no, 100%. I'm saying, what if she didn't know he was black? What if she was just scared in general? And so this is the problem for her. For her, it's not a race conversation. If she's telling the truth, if she's not lying, it's not a race conversation. For everyone else, it is, and she can't understand why. So we discuss why it is, but the problem is she still doesn't get it. But my point is, so if it has nothing to do with race for her, the problem is she's still overreacted. She needs to apologize. But I do think, if you're gonna ruin her business and her livelihood, she literally is just a woman who got scared in the middle of the night, did some silly shit that a lot of women would do. You know what I'm saying? This type of overreaction is what I've seen women do a lot. So even if it wasn't this, I would think it would be crazy for her to lose her livelihood over a genuine mistake. You know what I'm saying?
But it's a genuine mistake. She said, did I overreact?
True.
Maybe
also, and this is the question. Well, this is the problem. She should have not done it like this. This is your 4th apology on the internet. Then I understand that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just have the conversation. But the problem is, if you gonna do this video, you need to stick to the apology and just be humble. Say what you say. Let people take it and be like, but I understand why this is an issue.
Exactly.
And the problem is, she made it worse.
She's trying to victimize herself in a situation.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Making me mad, because
she's trying to be the victim.
Eliminate the racism out of it and be like, you know what? I think she just has some mental health issues and she got some traumatic experiences.
What? That's what it was.
And I can sympathize with you with that and understand, hey, just do better in the future. But you want to cry all these crocodile tears, you not taking full accountability. That is what making me dislike you even more. And it's not even about you being a racist. It's just you being a bad person.
You know what? I think that's what it boils down to. I think you said it perfectly. It's not a taking full accountability, because even when you tell the story, you're still trying to be the victim. And I think that's the reason why people are so angry. Still not cool, because you're not truly sorry. You still think that your fear justified how you acted, and it did not justify it. You had no justification for none of that. You were in the wrong every step of the way. You had no right to be afraid. Nothing scary happened. But anyway, we'll see if this story develops. They did make a post. This is the family, quite beautiful family. Like I said, this is a real estate mogul, real estate investor, developer who built himself up, and did it the right way. Got his family in the nice neighborhood, only to, run into this. And so for her perspective, maybe it isn't that bad, or she doesn't get it. But for him, probably was heartbreaking. It was probably affirming. It's every black person's worst nightmare is to fight that hard to get to where you want to go. And then there's a white woman on your front porch that can make a phone call to the sheriff that can end your life. To you, it isn't a big deal. To them, it probably was one of the scariest moments they've had in a long time. And honestly, as much as she wouldn't have had those crocodile tears, the people who got PTSD It's those poor black people who are minding their business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, that's the truth.
And now he has to pull up to his driveway thinking about that situation each and every time.
Yeah, and the crazy part is, you know that there's some race going on because literally everybody kept saying the one black family on the block.
talking about that
the
black
one,
family?
hold on, girl. Now we got one black family.
Talking about that black man right there.
You better not be blaming the one black family in the neighborhood for this shit. You know we got one. We just got our first, and you making them. I've been like, come on, goddamn. I probably had his first black friend. You fucked it up. We'll keep you guys updated as we have more information.